After WrestleMania 38, absolutely delivering when it comes to great matches, special attractions, ginormous returns, and overall just an amazing production, the success of WrestleMania 38 made the next year's WrestleMania's expectation a lot higher, and it sure as hell delivered. Story after story being finished, Rhea Ripley won her match against Charlotte Flair and became the SmackDown Women's Champ, looking like a bona fide star doing it. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens defeated the longest reigning tag team champions, the Usos, and became the first tag team to main event WrestleMania. And of course the shocker that left us with a defeated American Nightmare. But now it's 2024, WrestleMania 40 is a few months away, and now that this year is 100% booked by Triple H, I think WrestleMania 40 will absolutely be a banger of a card. Now I get that I already booked the entirety of WrestleMania 40, which pretty much is 7 hours of straight up just booking. But I started that series in November and a lot's changed since then. There's rumors of Brock Lesnar returning to the Royal Rumble to set up Brock Lesnar versus Gunther. Now if that match does happen, I really hope it's not like a 5-minute match. But you know, Gunther does not like going 5 minutes. He can go for a long time, at least 10-15 minutes. Just give these men time. I get Brock doesn't like to work a lot, but come on, just give this win to Gunther. Seeing Brock versus Gunther is good enough for me. And it's probably most likely that Gunther will head into WrestleMania as the IC champ, which means Brock Lesnar, the part-time champ himself, the legend himself, will be fighting for the Intercontinental Championship for the first time. So Gunther has really turned that title into a world title if this man got Brock Lesnar fighting for the Intercontinental Championship, a mid-card title. But that just adds to the prestige even more. But that's gonna take a dark toll on the next Intercontinental Champion, because who's ever the champ after Gunther got some pretty big shoes to fill. Now our next big match is probably Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. WWE recently started promoting this match last week on Raw, and I am here for it. Whether this match happens at WrestleMania or the Elimination Chamber, I figure doing a triple threat with Liv Morgan is a good way to go because the story is there. They can probably do Becky versus Rhea in Perth, Australia, and then Rhea versus Liv versus Becky at WrestleMania. But throughout the build to the Liv versus Rhea match at WrestleMania, Becky Lynch tries to get herself back into the match. It becomes a three-way, kind of like Daniel Bryan sneaking into the main event of WrestleMania, but instead of Daniel Bryan, it's Becky Lynch. Now either way, it's cinema. I mean, it's three women that are absolute stars, and I mean, I wouldn't complain if it's Rhea versus Liv or Becky versus Rhea or a triple threat. All three of those options sound pretty good to me. But the next one is LA Knight versus Logan Paul. I have a feeling that Logan Paul will 100% retain his championship at the Royal Rumble and then start a program with LA Knight sometime after the Elimination Chamber, which I am all here for. I think ever since CM Punk, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, all of them returned, LA Knight's popularity kind of dwindled down because the roster is just so stacked. And Logan Paul holding the United States Championship, it's gotta go. The perfect guy to win the championship from a guy like Logan Paul is LA Knight. Now I really want to see Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits on the WrestleMania card, and I know the only people that come to mind as their opponents are Karrion Kross and the newly returned Authors of Pain. So I know Karrion Kross's feuds are typically a slow burn and they have a big story to tell. And I can see WWE stretching out the feud up into WrestleMania. Maybe we get a 6-man tag with a stipulation. I hope it's with the stipulation because I can't stand watching a normal 6-man tag. Now Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. A big beef-filled match. Probably the main event of night 1, and the story is there. Everything is presented in front of CM Punk and Seth Rollins, and not doing this match would be absolutely wrong unless one of them get injured. I think Seth is okay, but I'm not pretty sure. But the question is, does CM Punk win the title or not? Honestly, at this point, I kind of want Seth to lose the title, whether it's Punk or even Damian Priest, because the story is there. CM Punk, I mean, obviously, all the dream matches are there, and Damian Priest could probably feud with Finn Balor. after winning the World Heavyweight Championship. So both options are fine with me because, you know, the story, I'm kind of a story guy, and the story is there whether CM Punk wins the title or whether Damian Priest wins the title. Now, the storyline between Bayley and Damage Control seems to be another match that I'm kind of looking forward to because every week WWE is trying to build up the face turn of Bayley, and they keep teasing and teasing and teasing, and eventually when or if Bayley wins the Rumble, Damage Control will make Bayley go after Rhea's title, but maybe Bayley chooses Io Sky. Now, going into Bloodline territory, Jimmy vs. Jey Uso, they're gonna have to start building this up because the hype for this match is not here. Something needs to happen at the Elimination Chamber. Either Jimmy Uso costs Jey a match or something, or maybe Jey Uso is in the men's chamber match, but Jimmy Uso costs Jey the match, HBK style, super kick to the face of Jey Uso, and Jimmy dips, and then Jey gets pinned and loses the Elimination Chamber match because of Jimmy Uso. And maybe that's how Jey vs. Jimmy's feud finally gets started. Now, I really hope they tell the story right. We haven't gotten much answers when it comes to why Jimmy aligned himself with Roman, especially after defeating Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa at Money in the Bank of last year, which it really doesn't make sense to me. But I really hope Rikishi gets involved because it just adds to the tension even more. The father trying to make peace in his two sons and forces them to fight in a tribal combat match or something where Rikishi is the special guest referee. Now, I don't know if Jey and Jimmy should be a team again after WrestleMania or stay as enemies, but I just think there's a little bit more to tell in the story before the Bloodline saga ends. And speaking of the Bloodline, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, the man who fucked around and found out, courtesy of Nick Aldis. Now, even if Roman retains at the Rumble, I think at this point we're getting The Rock vs. Roman Reigns sometimes this year, whether it's the Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, or the Saudi show in May. WWE finally has the chance to do what they've been wanting to do for years, and it's hard to pass up the opportunity when The Rock is willing to do the match this year. But all of the speculation is very stressful for the man on a mission, Mr. Babyface Homelander, Cody Rhodes. I'm really pushing for Rock vs. Roman Reigns at the Chamber and to make sure Cody Rhodes finishes the story at WrestleMania. But knowing WWE, I just think it's too much of a hard decision, and they will probably most likely go with The Rock vs. Roman Reigns at WrestleMania instead of Cody Rhodes vs. Roman Reigns, which it will be sad, but either way the same amount of money will be made if it's Cody vs. Roman or The Rock vs. Roman. But now that the obvious matches are out the way, let's talk about Stone Cold wrestling at WrestleMania. After seeing the match at WrestleMania 38, it's possible. It's possible. Will it happen? Probably not, but it's just me being delusional. But one thing I'm curious of is if WWE does an angle, the same exact angle that they did in 2022, where they had Seth Rollins fighting and clawing to be on the WrestleMania card. Now, it's not going to be Seth Rollins this year, but it could be someone else. Maybe someone who wants to be on the WrestleMania card, but they don't have an opponent. So they go to Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis, or even Triple H, and they demand a match. And maybe Triple H says that the person who wants the match will get their match, but they're going to find out their opponent the day of WrestleMania. And maybe we probably get some sort of surprise return, debut, maybe even a legend, probably not a legend, but hopefully some sort of surprise return or whatever. If MJF is fooling us and his contract is up with AEW, I can definitely see MJF being a mystery opponent and maybe wrestling at WrestleMania just because Cody did the same 2 years ago. But with all these matches, it's almost time to stop speculating and start watching the product for teases and little glimpses of what WWE will do to make WrestleMania 40 as big as possible. Now, I personally think that this year's WrestleMania will be better than WrestleMania 38 and 9, definitely 7, definitely 36, especially if we get Cody Rhodes finishing the story. But that's just my take. Anyways, subscribe, like, comment down below, all that stuff. Get me to 2 million subs. Anyways, bye.